Значи, първо на сцената ще покана авторите на One of Those Days, Майя и Яхуда. I'm very proud they're for second year with us, so please warm welcome. And then the verses, Cyanide and Happiness, which is also one of my favorites. Rob, please welcome on our stage. Oh, that was lower than I expected. Sorry. Yes. So, my first question is actually for you guys. It's the second time in Bulgaria. Is there any difference between this year and last year?
Can you hear me?
Yes, they can hear you.
You have a deep voice.
Yeah. Well, first of all, no, I'm kidding. First of all, hello Bulgaria, and thank you for having us for the second time. We love you guys. If you ask about the difference, look, the amount of love and support that we get from you guys, it's unbelievable, and we really love being here. And what do you think?
Yeah, actually, it's we've been here last year. It was so great. We were so amazed from everyone, all the smiles, all the hugs. I think I hugged about 1,000 people just in the first hour of us being here, which was great, by the way. I love the free hugs thing, by the way. But it's amazing. You're amazing people, and we love to come here in the second year in a row. Hope to come again. Actually, we recognize a lot of people that been here last year, which is fantastic. And that's it. We amazed again. Thank you.
Any problems so far in Bulgaria for you?
Problems? Well, I'm developing a rakia problem. I'm drinking it every night. But it's been fun. I've been here for 3 days. I've been all around the city. It's been a really great time so far. I'm really excited to be here. I've been to Comic Cons all over the world, but I've never been to Eastern Europe before, and everyone here has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up question, and that is, last year, did it happen something embarrassing that you're going to put in your comics?
Interesting. Actually, after we've been in, it wasn't after this Comic Con, but it was very similar other event that we went, and people wanted to see, what do you illustrate after Comic Con? Like, we want to see something about the event. And it was very disappointing. I don't know if for the audience, but for us, that the experience that they actually illustrated about was in the hotel, the bathroom, when we sit and do bath together, and you just stuck like here with a tap. And this was the experience from the Comic Con, which was great, by the way. But
for you?
Yeah, it was great because no, because girls always sit first, so we know to choose the side, the normal side of the bath, and of the tub, and guys.
So why you invite us to sit with you?
No, guys always sit like this with the tap in the back, but for me it was great. But this is what we drew after Comic Con. So if we do something about a bathroom, or know that it's from our experience here.
From my experience, maybe it's gonna be the selfies in the bathroom at the Comic Con. When you open the door after you go to the bathroom, and there's someone with a camera. Let me take a selfie with you, and I like.
No, I actually, one time I said, can I wash my hand first? Okay, it was, no, but we have like a photo shoot, a whole photo shoot only from the bathroom itself. It was awesome, by the way. It was great. Changing view.
Is there anything, okay, we know about you.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Is there anything happening now in your life that you think that in 20 years you'll find hilarious and laugh about?
Well, I'm from America, so it's not very funny right now. It's
No, I mean, haven't you watched The Daily Show? I do. So it is funny, but just when you're outside of America.
yeah, it's nice to be outside of the U.S. right now, so I can go around apologizing to everybody. Yeah, I mean, if my comics were based on my life, I would probably be in jail, and I'm not. So obviously my comics are made up, but they do show ways that I think about the world. So a lot of the comics are things that I think would be funny to say, but I know that if I said them to somebody, they would punch me in the face or walk away. So yeah, I mean, most of my comics come from how I wish I could act if I was cool.
Okay. Do you have sketches of your children, future children?
If we have sketches
Yeah.
of our
We have
future
sketches
children.
of our future children.
Yeah.
We have sketches about me wanted to make them, but not yet the actual children. Spoiler alert, we probably will put them when they arrive, but now is the thinking process and the making process.
How do you think they
Stay
will look
tuned.
like?
More thinking or more making?
Both.
You, any plans for children then? We are talking about children. If you don't have anyone to make children with. Please don't break my heart.
I'm too busy making comics on the internet to have sex, so.
That explains why I'm not married.
Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask.
That's the moment. Please save us.
Oh, we can. Hi.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Just a little bit closer.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
I have a question for one of those days. How often do you go training and do you train together or?
Training like exercise?
Well, like in the gym, I guess. I don't
Go
know.
to the gym?
Yeah.
So we have a gym in our house. We supposed
It's not
to
a
do...
gym
No,
it's
we have a
Set
few
of
dumbbells and
and a body weight.
Remember,
Yes.
they're making children.
yeah. We're supposed to
you
work
have
out.
enough training, I guess.
Yes. You're doing the lifting part. I'm doing the
With the grocery.
Yeah.
When you come from the
We're supposed to do
supermarket.
it together. Not really working. I don't know. I don't like sweat that much. But
Because we're in a really
no,
good
no.
shape,
But
both of us.
it comes. No. It's a problem. I need to like sweat because the cellulite is like piling up. So yeah, it's good for you to remind me that I do need to do some workout.
You're welcome. And for Cyanide and Happiness, I'm not sure if I pronounce it as it should be pronounced, but how did you start to do these sick comics? I mean, I really like them, but they're really crazy.
Well, I grew up reading crazy comics that were not for children, really. Like The Far Side by Gary Larson was my favorite comic growing up, and it kind of informed my sense of humor. It's very cynical and dark and twisted, and then you like add some Simpsons into that and some Family Guy and South Park, and I grew up on the same kind of stuff that I currently write, which is just kind of these what-if jokes that are kind of messed up. But the way it started was before there was ever a comic, I would make animations. I would create these stick figure cartoons and put them on newgrounds.com, which was like YouTube before YouTube.
Yeah, I know the site. And
So I was 14 years old. I pirated a copy of Flash, and I just taught myself how to animate. And that's how I kind of learned how to make stuff and like put things on the internet and then read reviews and read comments and then get depressed and then make something else. So I kind of learned how to create things for an online audience when I was still a kid. And Cyanide and Happiness came after the animations. As I was going into college, I realized that animation was kind of hard and I wanted to do something easier. And instead of making 24 frames every second, I only have to make 4 frames for a comic. So that's 4 frames per day versus 24 frames per second. But you can do the math. It's a lot easier.
Well, usually people try to get to work harder and harder to get to the point that they want. It's really amazing that you
Oh yeah, my life's gotten easier every year. It's perfect.
And
Okay,
one last question for both of them.
because you already asked 2 questions.
Yeah,
and there are
okay,
people.
sorry.
Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, you don't mind. Okay, ask another question.
Thank you. And was there a moment that you were, okay, how do these people like the things that I do?
How did you understand that people like what you're doing?
Not exactly, but was there a moment when you was asking yourself, okay, I'm doing something that I like?
Oh, of course. Yeah, when we started, we were just making comics that we thought were funny and then showing them to each other. And before they were ever posted online, we were sharing them over MSN Messenger and AOL. And so yeah, the first time, I guess 2 years into the comic, 2007, was the first time we ever went to Comic Con, and we chose San Diego as our first Comic Con ever, which was kind of a big jump. But I remember thinking the first time I saw an actual crowd, I saw our fans face to face instead of as numbers or as emails on the internet. Like, it was mind blowing. I couldn't believe that there were actually real people out there who were laughing at our comics and not just us. It was eye opening.
I just like the moment when he says before YouTube. I'm not the only one who knows what's before YouTube.
So yeah, thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have another question there.
Yeah, I would like to ask for the future kind of Cyanide and Happiness after the great demonetization of videos on YouTube. At least since you started telling about your Patreon, have you managed to recover with it?
Yeah, it's been great. So as you guys may or may not know, like a couple years ago, PewDiePie decided to be anti-Semitic or something, and then all of the advertisers pulled out of YouTube, which hurt mainly animation channels, like high production channels like us, because animation requires a lot of people, which means it requires a lot of money. So after that happened, our ad revenue kind of tanked, and a few months ago we turned over to Patreon and asked our fans, we said, hey, if you want us to keep making these, you can chip in and you can see some behind the scenes exclusive stuff. And about 3,000 people showed up and paid like $5, so it's been awesome. It's completely changed the channel for us. We've been able to keep working without relying on YouTube. And then beyond that, it's led to a lot of interesting opportunities, like just having this, these 3,000 people who are supporting the shorts. They also hang out with us on Discord, so we were able to get a lot of feedback directly from our biggest fans, which has helped us a lot in terms of coming up with what to do next.
But have you managed to fully recover? Like,
we haven't fully recovered. We're getting there. We're about halfway to fully recovering to where we used to be, but it's looking good. And we have other plans as well in case Patreon doesn't, completely take over YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
So I have a question for the whole group. Like, I'm just out of curiosity, have you ever read each other's works and are you each other's fans? It's kind of an odd question.
Have you read each other's comics?
Are you fans to each other? Fans?
Oh yeah. Actually, when we heard that Rob is going to come, we were very excited about it. We didn't know if he know our work, but we are creators, but we are fan arts like you. We love comics. So of course we knew his work. Yeah, we were really excited about it.
I mean, come on, this guy is a legend. He invented the webcomic.
He's from the pioneers. Look at him. We're like, it's more exciting that we sit.
Come on, he's a legend. I will try harder.
I've seen these guys' comics all over the place. I've seen them on Reddit, on Facebook, and Instagram. My friends are always sharing them. And it's one of those comics that's just, every other thing that they make is something that my wife and I experience. So it's extremely relatable and obviously much better drawn than ours.
It's different.
Oh, thank you.
It's different.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep being awesome.
Thank you.
Another question there?
My question is for the two of you as well. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you started drawing?
Can you ask again? Sorry, I didn't hear.
What do you know now that you wish you knew when you started?
I've got one. Always read contracts very carefully.
That's important. Yeah.
We've made mistakes, whether it's book deals, business level stuff, contracts, employees. Always read carefully what you sign and what you have other people sign. Especially when people, like, if your comic starts to become popular, you're going to have people knocking at your door and offering you what look like amazing deals. But even if it's the best deal in the world, you should always have a lawyer.
And make sure that the people that come and knock on your door doesn't have a red tail behind them and horns, because it could be tricky. But you had something.
Yeah, at the very beginning, we didn't hear or thought about not reading talkbacks. Sometimes talkbacks can be really mean, and we didn't know that, and we learn along the way that to appreciate only the loved ones. So this is very important. If you guys have artists in the audience, probably a lot of you are artists, so keep doing what you're doing. Never hear to anyone that said that you're not good enough, you're not doing, your art is not worthy, or you're not talented enough. There is no such thing. Like, look at this, it's two completely different art, and you guys can appreciate both of them. So there is no rules about it. Just do what you do, and you will get your audience if you continue in doing that. Seriously.
Next question.
Hello. Before I ask my question, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of both of the comic books. I mean, they're awesome. But my question is for one of those days. How did you both came up with the idea to make comics about your life as a couple? And how did your life change after your comics become popular?
Well, it all started when we first tried to find an apartment in Tel Aviv. That's the city we live in it. And we tried to find an apartment in a decent price. So we asked for our friends in Facebook to share our illustration that we did, because we don't know how to take a picture in a good way.
Yeah, we're not going, like, we're not, our photos are not very good.
Yeah.
We just like doing faces like this, so it will look good.
As you can see in our comics, I'm more muscular in the comics, but she's pretty much the same because you're beautiful. So we started like this. We found an apartment, and it started to become more like a personal blog.
Yeah, it became a personal blog. It started actually for pleasure. We looked for an apartment, and we said, okay, we don't take pictures very well, but we illustrate like very, very good. So let's just do a fun cartoon about ourselves looking for an apartment. And a lot of our friends shared it and liked it, and it got kind of viral, like a bunch of 20 likes, something like that. It was very, very viral, like broke the internet, like 20 likes. It was like, woohoo!
Those 20 likes was my mom and my brothers, her brothers.
Yeah, which are sitting right here, by the way. Yeah, they were. And we said, okay, this is working. Let's start like, it wasn't a weekly thing. It was once in a month, something like that, that you just started to make illustration. And it really, really got viral after, I don't know if you all know the shower scene.
You know the shower scene?
We
you
have
heard about it?
That was the first comic
exactly
from you that I did see.
Exactly. So this one became really, really viral. This illustration, see me, it shows me and Yuda in the shower, taking a shower, and I really like to take a shower with really hot water.
God
apparently.
know why.
And he got the burn in the middle. So this became really viral, and then we understood, okay, so we're doing something that everyone can relate to. It doesn't matter where you're from, how much money do you have, what's your religion, it doesn't matter. Everyone can relate to it, and then we get it, okay, we did something. And from then it became our work. It became its pleasure, but it became our work. which we're really glad about it.
The point that we realized that we're doing something that a lot of people can connect with, it was when we went to my mother's house and her friends was there, and she told us about the shower illustration that we did, and she said, go like, by the way, she's not young.
60 plus.
Or good looking. And she
60
go like,
plus, which is very young, by the way, for today, but she's not
and if
really.
you're here, you are very beautiful and young. So, and she go like this, she go and tell us, oh, I saw your illustration about the shower. Me and my husband also doing it.
And we're thinking about it, no, too much
I mean,
visual.
come on.
No, it was too much visual. So yeah, since then we publish a new illustration every week, and thanks to you guys we're here.
Okay, thank you.
One from there, please.
Hi there. So my question is for Cyanide and Happiness. You mentioned that your comics are much more different from theirs. So do you think that this somehow stands in your way, or it's making it more difficult for you, or you're trying to make up for it?
Well, our writing process has evolved over the years, and I think writer's block is the biggest challenge in my life, basically, because it never goes away. But the trick is figuring out new ways to write all the time, because one way will never work forever. And we've been doing comics now for 13 years, every day. So obviously, staying fresh and staying funny involves looking at ourselves and the way we work. But luckily, there is 3 of us, and we often go back and forth a lot on Skype, and we just riff ideas until one of us laughs. So it's very much the same way it was in 2004. We haven't really changed that much. We're just doing it for a bigger audience. And the fact that it's not relatable like theirs, I guess, I mean, if you find Cyanide and Happiness relatable, you should probably talk to somebody or get help. Because they're not really about ordinary life. They're very much about the worst parts of us.
Yes, I was talking about the style.
Yeah. And every year we do Depressing Comic Week, where we don't even try to make a joke. We just try to make people sad. It's always fun to write. Thank you.
Next question over there.
Hi, my question is, how you came up with your art style?
Which one?
Everyone?
I think
For everyone.
I think cavemen came up with our art style.
Which is the best one, by the way. Pioneers and everything. Yure?
Well, my kind of art style developed through the years since I was a little boy. I grew up on the mainstream comics of Marvel, DC, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z, all the kind of stuff. But when I grew up, I found an old sketchbook of Leonardo da Vinci in our library in school, and I found out these sketches of anatomic style and stuff like this. And these books give me a lot of new perspective of how to draw the human body. So mixing all of this together and to living with Maya, develop this. But this is not all of mine, because our work style is together. I'm the illustrator, but the concept behind it, the colors palette, the typography, the composition, everything above.
Usually, the working process, you can see you the work like this for a day and a half, just sitting like this, and then I'm
And
going
Maya over the shoulder,
and me over the shoulder, do like this. No, do this, do this, do this. Move this. No, change that. This is how it looks from the side. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The next question over there.
Hello. My question is for Cyanide and Happiness. So your comics are very dark and offensive sometimes. And have you ever gotten in trouble for some of these comics? Like, have people written you angry mail?
So the thing is, we've never gotten in trouble because we don't have bosses. So there's no one to get in trouble with. We have As far as being too offensive, the thing is, when we write comics, we're not trying to be offensive. We're not asking like what will offend people today. The reason our comics are offensive is because we are offensive people, and we're trying to be funny. So like, we have made comics that I've made comics that I put up, and then I realized that they're not funny, like that, and I feel bad about that. But I've never made a comic that I felt that goes too far because I'm not trying to really go too far. I'm just trying to make myself laugh and to make other people laugh.
My question is for Rob. When was the single moment in your life when you said, I guess I'm famous?
I'm still not sure. I spend most of my time at a computer in a room by myself, so I don't really feel famous most of the time. And also, because no one really knows what I look like, I could have a Cyanide and Happiness banner and hire a guy to sit underneath it and pretend to be me, and nobody would know. So I guess I have the benefit of being internet famous, which is like, you know, a C-list or D-list. I can go to Comic Con and meet all these amazing people and sign books and stuff, but then I can also go home and disappear, which is good because I'm an introvert. So to answer your question, the first time I ever really felt how big Cyanide and Happiness was probably 2007 Comic Con San Diego. That was the first time that we actually met our fans face to face, and that was definitely the day where I realized that this could be a full-time job.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt, but that's like the really good spot to ask that question because I'm curious. How much social interaction is too much? Being an introvert.
One. No, I mean, I'm not going to go home tonight and cry myself to sleep, but because I love doing this. I love drawing pictures for everybody and drawing boners on people's joking hazard boxes. But it's fun. It's after Comic Con. I always take like a week to recover and just play video games and not leave the house.
Okay, next question, David.
Hi guys. First of all, love your work. You guys are the legends. And I was curious as to what are the best parts and the worst parts about being an illustrator nowadays?
What's the best part of?
Which parts do you love and hate about being an illustrator?
What's the best part of our job?
Yeah. What's the best and the worst of your job?
So for me, the best part is it wasn't planned actually, but the best part is to see the reaction, to see the effect on people. It's amazing. Like Rob said, the first time that you meet the audience face to face, like for us in a foreign country, the first time was Bulgaria actually last year. We were amazed. Yeah. We didn't know.
Well, for me, the best part is that I get to work with Maya.
Let me sweep the sugar.
He probably wants to work on the baby stuff this night. This is the reason that he...
No, but I think the best part is that you get to work with your hobby. You develop this hobby through the years, and finally you woke up in the morning and find out that you do it for a living because of this hard work and practicing, and you finally reach this point, and that's a really, really big bonus. And to do it with your wife, that she's the boss, and you can talk to the boss, it's also a good bonus.
I'm a nice boss.
I think the best part by far is just the creative process, start to finish. And we don't just do comics, we do animations as well, which requires like 15 to 20 people for each one. And just seeing a project go from just a stupid idea in the writing room and seeing it go all the way through storyboards, animation, and music, and sound, and voice acting. You can't really, it's hard to describe how rewarding it is to see it go on YouTube and knowing all the work that went into it and seeing the reaction. So definitely the creative process is the best part. The worst part is definitely, I would say, the stress, especially because Cyanide and Happiness isn't just a comic anymore. Now it's a business. And a lot of it is uncertain because like the internet keeps changing. In some ways it gets better, in some ways it gets worse. Like for example, Facebook, when Facebook first emerged, we started putting comics there and we ended up getting like 6 million Facebook fans, and it was fantastic. And then Facebook went public, and all of a sudden Facebook decided to start charging pages to reach their entire audience. So now if you want to talk to your Facebook fans, you have to pay Facebook tens of thousands of dollars. So we brought over this audience, then we totally lost them completely. We no longer can reach them. So like, and that kind of took our entire company and forced us to kind of like take a left turn and figure out, okay, so Facebook sucks now. What are we gonna do next? So it's been like that every year or so, where the internet changes in some massive way, and we have to figure out how are we going to keep doing this webcomic? How are we going to keep it alive when the internet is kind of trying to stamp it out at every turn?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question?
I have a question for all three of you, but mostly for Cyanide and Happiness. Can you tell us a joke?
Good luck.
Now I'm on the spot now. See, normally this comes easy to me.
No pressure.
Oh, I have.
If you guys are ready, you can start first.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Amir. I'm here to fix your doorbell.
Well, our kind of jokes is about relationships. So, do you know this time when your wife decided to buy new shoes, but she keep arguing with herself that they fit, but in reality, her leg is full with band-aids and bleeds, and she said, no, it's okay, and she goes like this, and you say, let's go back to the store and buy a new one, and she goes, no, because it's perfect. You know this part?
It's okay to suffer, to be beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We're women, exactly. It's okay, look at mine. I probably have some bruises underneath there, but it's okay.
Or the part the part that you go to see the movie Thor because you're a Marvel fan and a comics fan, and the wife just get along with you, and the minute you walk by with his shirt off, she goes like. And then she reminds you when there's the next Thor movie is coming up, when the next Avengers coming up, is Chris Hemsworth gonna be there? So.
I know when it's going to be the next Avenger one. I knew exactly when it's going to be the second Thor, the third Thor. I knew exactly when it's going to come out, every single movie, and hope in the trailer that it's going to be shirtless. But that's just me. Same. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for your question. Next one.
Hello. I wanted to ask mainly Cyanide and Happiness, but since your comics are really offensive, I wanted to know, do you get a lot of hate mail? And aside from that, do you get mail from angry parents?
We don't get much hate mail anymore unless you count YouTube comments, which I think are their own category of terribleness. Like there's just, it's the worst place on the internet, and that's where we live. So we used to get a lot of hate mail, but I think the hate mail people realized that we weren't going to stop, so they stopped. They did it, or maybe they moved on to more lucrative careers, or maybe they went to prison. I don't know. But from parents, we got one email from a parent like 5 years ago, and it was because this wasn't me, but my co-writer Dave. He drew a very inappropriate Comic Con sketch for I think like a 16-year-old. And her mom wasn't too happy about it, and so we got an email about that.
Thanks.
Okay, next one.
Hello. So you have your stories, like you build up your art style and like your subscribers and followers. So have you ever thought of? Okay, so there are like YouTubers, comics makers, and artists who just get to a point at which they can't upgrade themselves or like go higher, so they do collaborations with others. So have you ever thought, like Cyanide and Happiness and Maya Khadav, have you ever thought of making a collab?
Like collaboration?
Yeah, because you only have different art styles, and one of you is doing like animations too, so I know it would be interesting.
We haven't talked about it, but I think we should.
Yeah, we really should.
It would be the least expected crossover.
Exactly.
Well, good idea.
Thank you.
Next one.
A crossover between one of those days. Oh my God, a crossover between us. It's gonna be.
Why don't we just draw each other's comics for a year and see what happens?
Wow.
Hi, my question is for Cyanide and Happiness. I'm a huge fan, but I'd like to ask a question about your most hated video. The Somebody Hurt My Dick video.
Yes.
Okay, what's the whole idea to be so annoying? What was the writing process of?
So, that was an interesting chapter for us. It was in the middle of, so I'm not going to pass the blame for anyone on this because it was definitely, it was not good. It was a really bad short. And it was funny to us when we wrote it. We wrote it one night in San Diego after a party, and we were laughing our asses off. And maybe that was part of the problem. Maybe we were drunk, and so it seemed funny to us. But after we wrote it and we started producing it, we had season 2 started happening, where we started making full-length episodes. So all of a sudden, we had to create this giant pipeline because we couldn't do the animation ourselves anymore. We had to create 2 hours of animation in 10 months, which is crazy. So we created this big pipeline where we finished scripts, then we sent them forward to animatics, and they went to animation. But once the script was finished, we didn't look at it, or we would have to go out of our way to look at it because we were so busy with season 2. So what happened was we made this big long script, and then we just passed it along and then looked the other way. And what happened was it ended up becoming much, much longer than it should have been, probably like 3 times longer. It just was kind of the same joke over and over. And then when it was finally done, we looked at it and we were like, YOLO, let's put it up on the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And yeah, but since then, we've kind of treated it as the room. So it's the worst short we've ever made, but we've also doubled down on it, and now we've worked on like spin-offs and like remixes and stuff, so it's been fun. We did learn a lesson, which is we should always, take our craft seriously and keep it true to who we are.
Thank you.
So my question is for all 3 of you. Since I suppose you don't live here, of course, I wanted to ask you, what was your first impression of Bulgaria, and how do you feel about the country right now? What do you think of the country in general?
I've been having a great time. We got here Wednesday night, and the first thing we did was just do a pub crawl with a bunch of random people. Everybody was really cool. Since then, I've just been eating shopska and drinking rakia, and one of those 2 things is healthy, so it balances out.
My mom makes a lot of medicines with rakia, so I'm sure that's the healthy part.
Well, the only part of Bulgaria that we know is this kind of area. We didn't get too much walk around in Bulgaria, but
We know the way from the hotel to here, and from here to the hotel.
and it's an
It's
awesome
amazing.
way. I
The
mean,
Bulgarian
come on.
this
Have you
trail,
seen this road?
fantastic.
I
Wow.
mean, we walk through a couple of roads in our life, but this one, from this hangar to the hotel, I mean, come on. No, but the true story. A true story. When we first come here, we send I think it was on Instagram. We asked for the followers that live in Bulgaria to give us something recommend to eat. And in the last year that we come here, the fans brought us not just one paper, like a notebook with a lot of traditional foods and drink and places and addresses code and everything. Go there and then go there and then go there and say, go to there. This guy, his name is like there and then go to this.
At this moment, we just realized, okay, you country that like to eat, it's very good for us. We came to the right place. Okay.
Yes.
And Sofia is especially interesting to me as an American because every building I look at is like 8 times older than my country. It makes me feel very insignificant.
Thank thank you very much. I just wanted to add one thing. You, all three of you guys are absolutely awesome. I love your content. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, my question is about the creators of One of Those Days. Are there going to be any new paintings for Marvel? I mean, yeah, last year I bought the Deadpool piece and the Venom one and Deadpool 2. Yeah. So are there going to be, I was expecting for Infinity War something, but I guess there wasn't. For example, for Avengers 4, Captain Marvel or something like that.
Oh, so do you mean like more of a fan art?
Yeah, fan art.
Well, I really love Venom, the character, and I heard it's gonna be a new movie with Tom Hardy. So.
Spoiler alert.
What?
Spoiler alert. For
So I think I'm gonna do an illustration about Captain America. The new one.
I would pay money for you to draw Captain America and Iron Man in the shower together.
Do we have a deal here?
Yeah, maybe. Like he said, about the
We
deals.
should do each other comics for a year. That's such a bad idea.
But yeah, probably I will do another, come back to do a fan art about the Marvel DC universe, and I started watching the anime show One Man Punch, and I saw some cosplayer walking around here. I don't know if he's here, but I really like the show, so maybe I'm gonna do a fan art of this. But if you're following our Instagram page, you can see the battles that we do. You know what we did? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the, yeah.
So if you like, in our Instagram page, we publish a story every once in a while with battles with two major characters from the past, from now, which is really, really good. It actually can really relate to your question. It's a lot of fan art battles and stuff.
But yeah, I will return.
Okay, guys, we are running out of time, so we have room for only 2 more questions.
Hello, a question to all of you. How often do you see somebody else use your work in their websites or any kind of advertise? Do you have somebody who deals with copyright issues for you and look for things like that, or you do it maybe personally, or do you even care if somebody else uses it?
Do you have a business card?
No.
So in webcomic, this is one of the major problems. So we learn along the way how to do it, because as you said, we stopped counting after the first day that we got published. Yeah, but you can see it all over, and I think our solution how to deal with it just never upload your work in high resolution. So really, this is the only, because chasing chasing after the entire world is impossible. There is no such lawyer that can do that. The best, it doesn't matter. It doesn't worth your energy, I guess. So never upload your work in high resolution. This is the best solution I can give, I guess.
I mean, our stuff gets copied so much that it's not even worth trying to fight it. It's ubiquitous. And there was one case where I made an animated GIF comic. It was a guy pelvic thrusting. And I started getting emails a few years ago that this animated GIF of a guy pelvic thrusting was being used on porn sites for pop-up ads. And he said, "Are you guys going to do anything about it?" And I thought, like, how funny is it that someone's like at a porn site getting busy and my character pops up and interrupts them? so I didn't do anything about it. I think it's hilarious.
Okay, the last question.
Thanks. My question is for Rob, but for you too as well. Was there a moment when you had an idea or a concept that was like, oh, it's not going to be relatable, or it was more like, oh shit, it's going to be, someone is going to get really offended if you post it?
Yes, I write down all my ideas whenever I have them, because otherwise I'll forget them like 100% of the time. So I have an idea list in my phone that gets longer and longer, and the idea list goes all the way back to 2009. So it's extremely old. And what's weird about it is I often scroll down the list and I find an old idea and I come up with a way. It's been so many years that it's like somebody else wrote the idea and not me. So it's like I get a fresh perspective. And then I can tweak it in some way or add a joke. And then a comic that I gave up on 5 years ago becomes a comic that can go up tomorrow. But the other side effect is that as you scroll down my list, the ideas get worse and worse. They're like an order of badness. So it's also kind of like self-defeating to read it sometimes. It makes me wonder if I was ever funny or if all of this is just a sham.
You're hilarious.
In our case, the only one that I need to be worried about to get offended, it's Maya, because I drew her, and the one illustration that I did that I really scared about was the I hate the winter. I think I called it Winter is Coming, when she turned into a werewolf, because in winter you forgot that you are feminine, and you say, okay, I go on with the longs.
We really care about our hair and legs during the winter. We have a long pants, so who cares? I wanted to say another word, but who cares? It's our natural way.
And in this kind of case, when I finish drawing this illustration, I go to Maya and go like, hey, look, we have a new illustration this week. You want to see it? And she was like, yeah. Look, you're a werewolf. I was like...
Everyone actually thinks that he's insulting me in the illustration, but they don't really know that we come up with the concept together. So everything that you see, it's not behind my back, it's okay, I'm not getting insulted, it's fine.
Thank you. Keep up the great work.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, guys, we are out of time. But please, one more warm welcome for our guests.
Also, come see us. Come see us in the next building.
We're neighbors. Come and say hi.
Yep, we're in the next building over in the corner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
On the street. The great street, not just the street.
They have some hats for coins. So,
thank you guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the panel. Great. Благодаря на всички. Малко по-късно ще продължим с следващия панел. Заповядайте отново. Благодаря ви.